quick question, and be honest with yourself here. When's the last time you just sat somewhere for 10 minutes and did absolutely nothing? No phone. No music, no podcast, just existed. Can't remember? Yeah, that's the problem. Here's what's wild about where we're at right now. You probably feel mentally exhausted, like genuinely drained. Getting out of bed feels like a task. Reading a few pages of a book feels like homework. Even replying to a text sometimes feels like too much effort. And yet, somehow, you had the energy to scroll through your phone for 2 hours last night. You weren't even enjoying most of it. You just couldn't stop. That contradiction right there? That's not laziness. That's not a character flaw. That's your brain completely out of calibration. Now, I'm not going to tell you to go sit in a forest for 3 days with no electricity and find yourself. That works for approximately 0 people in real life. You've got work, responsibilities, a life, and the second you re-enter civilization, you're back to square one anyway. What I am going to show you is how to realistically reset your brain over 30 days while still living your actual life. No extremes, no shame. Just a practical plan for getting your focus, your motivation, and honestly, your enjoyment of life back. Let's get into it. Chapter 1. The Strawberry V's. Soda effect first. Let's kill a myth right now. Dopamine is not the enemy. You've probably heard people talk about dopamine like it's some kind of brain poison you need to flush out. That's not how it works. Dopamine is the chemical that makes you want to get out of bed. It drives motivation, learning, and the feeling of reward when you accomplish something. You need it. Without it, you literally don't care about anything. So the problem isn't dopamine. The problem is artificial dopamine overload. Here's what's actually going on. Your brain evolved over hundreds of thousands of years in a world where rewards were slow and effort-based. You worked hard, you got the thing, you felt good. That cycle was the foundation of human motivation. But now, you're carrying a slot machine in your pocket. And not just any slot machine, one that has been engineered by some of the smartest people on the planet, specifically to keep you pulling the lever. Infinite scroll, unpredictable notifications, autoplay. Every single one of those features is designed to hack your dopamine system. And here's where the strawberry comes in. Imagine you drink sugary soda every single day, like multiple times a day. After a while, you bite into a fresh strawberry, and it tastes like nothing. It's not that strawberries got worse. Your taste threshold just got recalibrated by constant artificial sweetness. That's exactly what's happening to your brain. When you spend your day on short-form videos, social media feeds, and rapid-fire notifications, your brain's reward threshold gets raised. So when you sit down to read a book, go for a walk, or have a slow conversation with someone, it feels painfully boring. Not because those things are bad, but because your brain is waiting for the soda. This is why you can't focus. This is why ordinary life feels dull. It's not you. It's overstimulation mixed with a completely wrecked reward sensitivity. Chapter 2. Why willpower is a trap. Alright, so you get it. Your brain is fried. You decide you're going to fix it. And what's the first thing most people do? They try to willpower their way out. I'm going to stop scrolling. Starting tomorrow, I mean it this time. And maybe it works for a day, maybe 2. Then you're lying in bed, bored, and your hand just reaches for the phone, almost like it has a mind of its own. And you're back. Here's the thing about willpower. It's a finite resource. And you're trying to use it to fight against an environment that is specifically designed to drain it. That's not a fair fight. You will lose that fight most of the time, and it has nothing to do with how strong or disciplined you are. There's also this insidious thing happening called attention fragmentation. You're half watching a video while scrolling through something else, while also kind of listening to music. You feel stimulated, but nothing lands. You finish and feel weirdly empty, like you consumed a ton of stuff and got nothing from it. That's shallow satisfaction, and it's genuinely addictive because your brain keeps chasing the fulfillment it never quite got. So if willpower doesn't work, what does? Your environment beats your willpower every single time, always. So stop fighting your environment with your mind and start changing your environment with your hands. This means friction. The harder something is to access, the less you do it. Delete the apps. Not just log out, actually delete them. Make your phone screen grayscale. It's way less appealing, trust me. Charge your phone outside your bedroom. Put it in a drawer when you're working. You're not relying on motivation. You're building a physical obstacle course between you and the distraction. That's not weakness. That's strategy. Chapter 3. Week 1. Embracing the void. Okay, week 1. This is where you start. And the first job in week 1 isn't even to stop anything yet. It's just to notice. Start paying attention to when you automatically reach for your phone. Not in obvious moments, but in the micro moments. Waiting for an elevator, a pause in a conversation, the 2 seconds between finishing one task and starting another. Your brain hits the tiniest pocket of discomfort and your hand moves before you even make a decision. Just notice that. No judgment, just data. Now, here's something important. Don't go from maximum stimulation to zero overnight. Your brain hates sudden extremes. Cold turkey works for some things, but trying to go from 8 hours of screen time to nothing on day 1 is how you end up miserable, binging everything back on day 3. Instead, start with the biggest culprit first: short-form content. TikTok, YouTube Shorts, Instagram Reels, whatever your flavor is. This stuff is uniquely destructive because it trains your brain to switch attention every 15 to 30 seconds. It literally dismantles your ability to focus on one thing. Cut this aggressively. Not reduce it a little. Actually remove it. Now here's the part people skip, and it's actually the most important part of week 1. Learn to be bored. Boredom is not an emergency. It just feels like one because you've been treating it like one for years. But here's what boredom actually is. It's your brain in neutral. And neutral is where everything good happens. Problem solving, creative thinking, reflection, noticing how you actually feel, all of that lives in the empty space. When you never let yourself be bored, you never access any of that. So this week, when the urge hits, just sit with it for a minute. It's uncomfortable. That's fine. You're rebuilding a muscle you haven't used in a while. Chapter 4, Week 2. Surviving the dip. I need to be upfront with you about Week 2, because if I'm not, you're going to think something is wrong when it's actually going exactly right. Week 2 might feel worse. Like, noticeably worse, more bored, more restless, maybe even a little irritable or flat. You might look at your life and think, what do I even do with my time? And that question will feel heavy in a way it didn't before. This is not failure. This is your brain adjusting. It's called neuroadaptation. Your brain is recalibrating its baseline reward levels, and it's not comfortable. Think of it like the first week of cutting sugar. You feel worse before you feel better because your system is recalibrating. This is also the week to start bringing in replacements, but the right kind. You want slower rewards: reading, cooking something from scratch, going for a walk without headphones, working on something with your hands. These feel slow and unsatisfying at first. Remember the strawberry. But you're rebuilding your ability to feel reward from real-world effort. And here's a trap that catches a lot of people: swapping one digital addiction for another. You quit social media, good. But now you're listening to podcasts for 5 hours a day. Or you're deep in productivity apps, optimizing your schedule instead of actually doing anything. Your brain doesn't care what the content is. It just wants a stimulation drip. If you replace the scroll with a different kind of constant input, you haven't actually rested your brain. You've just changed the flavor of distraction. The goal isn't just less screen time. The goal is actual mental rest, silence, boredom, space. That's what Week 2 is really about. Chapter 5, Week 3, Unmasking the Anxiety. Here's where things start to genuinely shift. Around Week 3, if you've been consistent, something changes. The mental noise gets quieter. You'll find yourself actually finishing things. Reading an article all the way through, completing a task without needing a dopamine break every 10 minutes. Simple stuff starts to feel good again in a way it hasn't in a long time. Part of what's happening is that you've been clearing out cognitive residue. Every single micro-distraction, every notification check, every quick scroll, every "I'll just look at this one thing," leaves a residue. It fragments your mental bandwidth. And when you remove those interruptions consistently, it's like finally defragging a hard drive that's been running slow for years. You just feel less scattered. But here's the part of Week 3 that surprises people. When things get quiet, you might also start to feel something uncomfortable. A background hum of restlessness, maybe some anxiety. A vague sense of unease that wasn't obvious before. That's not new anxiety. That was already there. You just couldn't hear it over the noise. This is the big psychological reveal of a detox. Your phone isn't just entertainment. For a lot of people, it's emotional regulation. Feeling lonely? Scroll. Feeling anxious about something you need to do? Scroll. Uncertain about a decision? Scroll. Bored in a way that touches something deeper? Scroll. The phone becomes a way to avoid your own inner experience. And when you take it away, that stuff surfaces. It's uncomfortable. But it's actually important. Because now you can deal with it instead of just muting it indefinitely. This is where a lot of people relapse. Push through. What comes up in Week 3 is worth looking at. Chapter 6, Week 4, Earning Your Brain's Trust by Week 4. You might be expecting some dramatic productivity transformation. And sure, your focus is sharper, you're probably sleeping better, and you're more present in conversations. But the deepest benefit of this whole process isn't productivity. It's something way more personal. It's how you see yourself. Here's what I mean. Every time you felt the urge to grab your phone and didn't, every time you sat with boredom and let it pass, every time you chose the slower, harder, more meaningful thing, you collected a piece of evidence. Evidence that you are actually in control of yourself. Most people who struggle with this stuff have built an identity around being bad at discipline. They think they're just the kind of person who can't focus, can't follow through, can't resist distraction. And the tragedy is, that identity becomes self-fulfilling. But when you string together 4 weeks of small, consistent wins, nothing dramatic, just daily choices, you start to replace that story. Not with fake confidence, but with evidence-based confidence. You showed yourself something real. That's different from motivation. Motivation comes and goes. This is self-trust, and it compounds. There's also one more gift that week 4 brings that nobody really talks about. Time starts to feel different. When you're constantly scrolling, your memory formation gets compressed. You can lose an entire Sunday to your phone and genuinely have nothing to show for it in your memory. No distinct moments, no texture, just a blur. But when you're intentionally present, actually at your own life, moments register differently. They feel more real. Life feels slower and fuller, not because more is happening, but because you're actually there for it. That's not a small thing. That might actually be the whole thing. Chapter 7. The permanent baseline. Here's the part where I have to be real with you. A 30-day reset means nothing if, on day 31, you reinstall everything and go straight back to 12 hours of stimulation. The detox isn't the destination. It's the reset that allows you to build something different. The goal is permanent lifestyle design. That doesn't mean never using your phone. It means building structures that protect your baseline. Screen-free mornings, no phone in the bedroom, scheduled time for deep work. Even just 10 minutes of intentional boredom built into your day. No input, no output, just existing. These aren't restrictions. They're systems that keep your brain calibrated. And about relapses, they will happen. You're going to have a bad week, and you're going to scroll for 4 hours, and you're going to feel like you ruined everything. Don't spiral. Seriously. One relapse doesn't undo what you built. When it happens, don't treat it with shame. Treat it like data. Get curious. What were you feeling right before you reached for the phone? Stressed? Lonely? Avoiding something specific? That answer tells you something useful. Use it. Conclusion. Here's the bottom line. The goal of all of this was never to make you miserable or to remove pleasure from your life. It's to remove the compulsiveness. The difference between choosing to watch something you enjoy and needing constant stimulation just to feel okay, that gap is everything. We are living in a moment where the systems around us are smarter than ever at capturing and holding attention. Your attention is a product being sold, and the people selling it have spent billions of dollars figuring out exactly how to keep you hooked. In that world, a world where distraction is engineered and effortless, the ability to focus is becoming genuinely rare. And rare things become valuable. The people who can sit with a hard problem, sustain deep attention, and operate from intention rather than impulse. Those people are going to have a serious advantage in the next decade. Your attention is not infinite. It's actually the most finite resource you have. Every minute of it you give away to something compulsive is a minute of your actual life that's gone. Protect it like it matters, because it does.